Hello there, denizens. This is bundi1337. Today I'm here with freeb the freebermaster freeb and we're here to discuss the upcoming changes for RuneScape Chronicles.
Specifically, we're here to look at what changes Giant are proposing. We'll comment on what we think about those changes, and then afterwards, we're probably going to go over some cards that we think they missed and how we would conduct some other changes ourselves.
So let's jump into the next segment. Alright, so the first card that we got here is Anti-Fire Potion. It got changed from a 2 gold cost support card that removes 5 attack from your next dragon and rewards a 2 health reward to a 1 gold cost remove 5 attack from your next dragon with a 3 health reward. What do you think about this change, freeb?
I mean, Anti-Fire Potion still gonna be as irrelevant as ever, but at least now, when you draw it in a potion deck, it's not a hugely overcosted heal for 2. But like every once in a while you can use it as a heal for 1 if you get it off a random potion generator, but it's not something you'll include in any constructed deck. It's not something you're gonna be happy to see that often, and you're just, most of the time, just gonna ignore its existence as best as you can.
I just think that the card will be better if we get more dragons, and eventually dragons that work well with it, because currently we don't have any, right? Because undead dragon is not a dragon.
We have Elvarg.
Well, Elvarg still...
it's a 12-8, which this card isn't really gonna do anything against.
Lava Dragon, same thing.
Yeah, like it's a 15-9. All the dragons have huge attack stat. And like, if you're ever going to face tank them, you're already making a mistake in the first place.
Yeah,
like,
and that's why...
to face tank dragons, this card, like, it's only like putting a pillow between a goddamn battering ram in yourself. It's still gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's actually usable in the engineering if you really need to get some dragons off, but even then it's a terrible draft.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be better in the future, it's just not constructed.
It's nowhere near construct. Like, the only reason I think this cost, like, changes a thing that should happen is because that now it actually performs a role of small heals, and sometimes with some of the random potion generators, it'll give you Anti-Fire Potion, and you'll be less of like, oh man, thanks RNGesus, and it'll be a little bit better in the future, but it's still nothing you want to ever see.
Yeah, it got a push, it definitely needed a little push, so I'm fine with that right now. Let's go to the next card. Oh baby, this is...
If there was one card that got the community up in flames, it's this one. Oh boy!
Alright, so we got Unstable Concoction here. It used to be a 0 gold, spend 1 potion from your hand and deal 5 damage to rival, which was already very good in-slot value if you actually used potions. And it got changed into a 1 gold, spend 1 potion from your hand that deal 9 damage to rival. This is better than Barcatoad.
This card is so fucking insane now. Like, I had this discussion on Discord with a couple of folks saying, Lava requires potions in your deck, and I basically boiled my argument down to this. If you have any card that's dealing 9 damage, you need to look at it seriously, because that's about a third of your rival's HP. That's like a Culinarimancer. Doing this kind of shit on Chapter 1? Way dumber than it should be.
Let's call it that way. If you used to run Barcatoad and Rowdy Cannoneer, you'll now just run Chaos Druid Unstable Concoction.
Or maybe like even like add a Mambo in there, because you can also afford that.
Yeah, because we're going to come to these changes later, but potions got a very good buff and you can basically go ham, and I think that potion decks will be defining aggro in a really new way. And I'm not sure if I like it just yet, because there's also a counterpart to Unstable Concoction called Crystal Flask, which still is 0 gold and used to gain 7 health. Now it's spend 1 potion from your hand and gain 9 health. But it's not a potion on its own.
Which is my, like, saying that's my big complaint about the card. Like, why is this card not a potion?
I think it's not a potion because there's nothing in it, it's just a flask.
Yeah, like, but at the same time, sometimes you have to forsake flavor for actual playability. If this card was a potion, I couldn't envision it using it much more, because then suddenly you have a very good suite of options when it comes to both concoction and flask. Like suddenly you can have those two in your deck. You have very good options in those cards. Like I'd much rather see it done like that than how it is at the moment.
I actually think that they buffed this card together with Unstable Concoction to add sort of a counterweight to it, because Crystal Flask will definitely find its place in, for example, AP Sustain Potion Raptor. Because it's just spend 1 potion, gain 9 health, and you can generate potions out of nowhere, and you can generate a lot of potions.
Yeah, you can get a lot of potions all of a sudden for much less opportunity cost than before. Yep. Let's lay in the changes. At the end of the day, it's a heal 9. It deserves to be looked at as such. Again, it's the same argument with Unstable Concoction. It's free, so it can be much more risk-free, but it does inherently 2-1 you. It costs you 2 cards to do. So, Crystal Flask, had it been a potion, and if it were able to synergize with other potions, I'd definitely say that this change would make me much more happy. But as it is, I feel like it not being a potion itself really does hamper its ability to be really good.
Hey, it plays around Goblin Trickster.
5 hit. No, it doesn't play around Goblin Trickster. It gets pitched by Goblin Trickster in an all potion deck.
Yeah, so you can keep your Tetsu Katana, you know?
Mate, please stop.
Alright, let's move on to the next card. We're getting silly already again. We got Explosive Potion coming up. Remove a random location from rival's deck for 2 gold. That never seemed like a good deal. Everyone in the game asked himself, why does this exist in this form? Why did it get implemented? And I think Jagex thought so too. Because they changed it in a 0 gold cost, remove a random location from rival's deck, with a 1 gold reward. So it's basically comparable to Black Marketeer in value, but its effect is much worse. Because you don't have a reason to target remove locations as of now.
I mean,
it's gonna be a tech card.
Actually, if you're playing 1 AP Potionary, and you might want this to get rid of your opponent's Cassage.
5 head, freeb, 5 head.
But that's it. This card is still terrible. Like, if we're talking bad cards, you're listing Explosive Potion. It's less terrible than before, because before it was like negative value out to the infinite. Now it's just like, what am I doing with my life? I'm playing this because I got it off Kaki makes, okay, I'll screw it, and I have nothing else to do. And
at least you're getting 1 gold out of it now. You can just slam it down.
At least you can play it for a gold.
Well, so it's not that terrible anymore.
I think it's absolutely terrible.
It's still bad, but not as terrible as it used to, if you catch my drift.
Let's be honest, it was... As it used to be, that was basically the bar of how bad can a card be.
No, Weapon Poison was how bad can a card be.
Explosive Potion, Weapon Poison were both contending for worst card in the game. Like, it only got out of the contention with this. It's still terrible. Don't run it, don't play it, don't think about it. You'll be more happy to picking in Dungeoneering now, though.
Yeah.
That's ever a plus.
Well, yeah, I think it actually got somewhat decent if you get a really terrible round. You could just say, like, yeah, let's go Explosive Potion, it's at least 1 gold. Yeah, and it also builds up to a Mambo. If you draft it early on, you can go for potions without any remorse. So,
wanna go to the more fun cards?
Oh, baby. We got the Cake Mix coming up.
The Cake Mix. And you know what? This card got changed from discarding 1 random card in your hand and giving you 2 random potions to now just giving you a random potion and 2 water. And let me explain what water is. Water is a potion type card that it costs 0 and it gives you 1 HP. That's it. It's a support card, cost 0, give 1 HP, that's water.
We got it on the screen.
I have 1 problem with water. Just 1.
Tell
water
me about it.
Should always be it should have a piece of text or an effect or something that makes it so it's prioritized whenever you're spending potions. Because you spend your water in your potions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to play a Kakimix and then an unstable concoction and then discard and not water.
Yeah,
I always want to discard water and want to be sure that I discard water.
That's the risk that comes with it, I think.
No, but that's the thing where, like, if you really want to push this potion synergy, I think if you're going to want to play cards that give you a lot of water, like Kakimix, you also want to make sure that people can accurately discard those water cards, because they really do not do much.
Yeah, but you know, you can just play Kakemix, play Mambo, and Unstable Concoction, and you got rid of the potions anyways. And the water.
True.
You know, this actually builds up to combo turns as well, because you're getting so much value out of a single card. It's the same with the next card, with Chaos Druid, which used to be add one random potion to your hand.
I'll be honest. I'm evaluating Kakemex and Chaos Druid differently on a few things, but at the moment, Kakemex is a straight upgrade from what it was before. Although you don't get 2 random potions, most potions in the game are sadly bad at the moment. There are few.
You don't really care which one you get.
Yeah, like if you hit Unstable Concoction, then your inside just going like, yes, winning. And Wizard Mind Bomb is pretty attractive too, but other than that, there's a whole bunch of bad potions out there.
Like we saw it before with Explosive Potion and Anti-Fire Potion, that many of the potions in game are actually really bad. And I think that Chaos Druid and Kakemix are gonna have a huge impact on how decks are built in the future patch, because those two are certainly gonna be stable in every deck, and I actually even think that potions in general will be Miracle Area and buff as well.
They'll be stable in potion decks, especially. Like Kakemix might not be 100% of the time, but want to move on to Chaos Druid?
Yeah.
Because there's a potion card, alright? Oh boy!
Oh, baby.
This card got crazy.
The value.
It went from a 4-3 that adds 1 random potion to your hand to a 4-3 that adds 2 random potions and a water and gives you free armor. It gives you 2 cards, it gives you armor, it gives you a potion extra for your potion synergies. This card does all the potion things. Like, it's not giving you Papa Mambo, but other than that, it's absolutely insane.
We need targeted draw for Papa Mambo, right?
Totally.
Add 1 Papa Mambo to your hand.
Like, this card is so good in potions, and that's why I think if aggressive potion is going to be a thing, it's going to be a free AP deck. It's going to be like your aggressive Vanesculus or something that goes to 3 or 4 AP, and then it's going to use this card to straight up look your opponent in the eye, tell them, I has more value, and then roll over them so fast.
Yep. It's gonna be like, I'm actually looking forward to the changes. I just don't feel that some of them really did well for the game. I'm not sure how well I like potions being pushed in every archetype.
Well, the problem is, like, and this is the same with the Cannonball problem, like why people only ran Rowdy Cannoneer and Barkatoad is that there are very, very few good potion cards that are actually worth running.
Yeah, and now you can like, just generate them out of nowhere.
Yeah, like you can generate random ones out of nowhere, which are going to be primarily discard fodder for your other potion cards. But to like short it off the top of my head, Wizard Mind Bomb, what's it called? Mambo, Stamina Potion,
Restore Potion as well, I guess.
Yeah, maybe Restore Potion, Unstable Concoction. Those are the potions I want to play, and a lot of those are gold intensive, which won't really be that great in an aggro deck.
Unless you're, of course, running an aggro deck that has no problems with its economy, like Ozan.
Yeah.
Ozan can go ham, I think. And, yeah, we got the water card on the screen again, 0 gold, restore 1 health. Basically, the counterpart to Tainted Cabbages.
Untainted Cabbage.
Untainted Water, excuse me. The next card on the list is Cabin Boy. Oh, baby.
Baby. Actually, remember when we said Weapon Poison versus
oh yeah, we forgot Cabin Boy.
Yeah, we forgot Cabin Boy. Like, Cabin Boy was up there. It was shit.
You basically gave yourself a double Meltzer the Mad when playing Cabin Boy. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you basically double Meltzer the Mad while actually spending cards from your hand.
Yeah, discarding a random card. Oh my god. For 1 gold too.
It is some of the least efficient value in the game to date.
Terrible.
So bad. And
so,
to put it
so
shortly,
bad.
It's still not good.
No, and it's still gonna be terrible.
I know, right? Like,
If you have a ship in your hand, add
What
2
ships
cannonballs
worth
to your
playing?
hand.
Like, there are no good ships in the game at the moment outside Say, and I want to.
Say isn't a good ship? Say
I'm
is
saying
terrible?
outside. I'm saying there are no good ship outside Say, except maybe fishing trawler if you take it that.
Ghost ship.
We'll get to that one.
Yeah.
It's probably gotten a little better, yeah. But to put it in short, Cabin Boy, the new one, it just sure it gives you 2 cannonballs, but if I'm playing it in the Say deck, I want to play this before my Say and not have to sit with my Say in my hand.
Yeah, and you don't want to break your hand by playing it before you play Say.
Yeah. It is very awkward.
Feels bad, man. Okay, let's move on. We talked about how terrible Cabin Boy is. Let's talk about
another terrible card.
It's called the Chain Shot Cannon. Spend 1 cannonball from your hand. Discard 1 card from rival's hand and 3 from rival's deck. How do you like this change?
I mean, this is literally reverse Meltar. It takes a card away from your opponent's hand and 3 cards from their deck.
Look at the
Meltar
synergy.
adds 1 card to your opponent's hand, and yeah, you get where I'm going with this.
Play Cabin Boy, double Chain Shot Cannon, and a Melter last slot.
And then inside you need to go Poggers.
And outside you need to go, oh my god, I just wasted a whole chapter doing this.
Yes, that. Change it, Cannon, Cabin Boy. They're better than before. They're not complete shit, but they're still pretty shit. And I can see potential for Cannon Boy. I cannot see potential for Chain Shot.
Aw, come on. Milling pirate decks are gonna be a thing soon if we keep going this way.
Mill Pirates, please no.
Pock champ.
It's like a final fight deck that doesn't even get to the final fight.
Talk about discarding Ghost Ship. 2 gold, rival discards 2 random cards. It's a ship. It's insane value. You pay 1 gold to discard 1 card of your rival's hand. I'd like to say it's more slot efficient than Pete, because there's also ship synergy.
Are we on Ghost Ship now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Card got buffed.
That's
good now.
Card's really good now. And it was already played before. I don't see the reason to buff it. Because people who are crying about Pete now will cry even harder about Ghost Ship, because it's only 2 gold!
It is not hard to get 2 gold, and this change with Ghost Ship might be what pushes it into aggressive decks to the point where now they can play it without getting too punished for it.
And they basically just say, haha, Raptor, I gotcha, B.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Ghost Ship isn't nice anymore. It's really good now.
Yeah. Ships got buffed. Feels good, man. Oh, what about Cabin Boy, Chain Shot Cannon, and double Ghost Ship next chapter?
Oh my god. You know what? You don't even need 2 Cabin Boys. You only need 1 Cabin Boy. So you can have 2 Ghost Ship in your hand, and then you can literally go Cabin Boy, Chain Shot, Ghost Ship.
Poggers.
Your opponent's like, you just got it in my hand.
My hand! Alright. The next card, which is actually one of the most interesting ones, I think.
Change.
The Smuggler. It used to be 3 gold, steal up to 3 weapon attack from rival, which is terrible. And now we got.
That word has been used a lot today.
It was situational. That's a better word. Now we got the new Smuggler. It's a 2 gold, steal up to 3 weapon attack from rival, or gain 3 temporary attack. That means it's not conditional anymore. You will always get the temporary attack.
Yeah.
And that makes the card actually playable and very good in Dungeoneering, if you ask me.
And I agree on this, like, this card is always going to ramp, and this change is a great Dungeoneering change. It's not gonna see constructed play.
Actually it could be.
We have Mithril Arrows.
Yeah, but Mithril Arrows don't hard counter Sergeant Slamtoes or TD.
Yeah, but I think this card is... You already have to make some pretty strong reads with this card. There's more cost to it. In general, like, and it also requires that you have a weapon. So there's a lot of condition.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that effect. Yeah, then it's still terribly constructed. Never mind.
Yeah, but in Dungeoneering, this card definitely takes on some new shapes.
Uh-huh.
Because you can use it to counter your opponent's card sack by going cheap weapon into it. You can use it to get the ramp. Like, this is a whole lot of new dimensions, and I think if Jagex gets really good at balancing for Dungeoneering, I think this is an example of a really good change towards that. It gives modality, and it gives you an effect you always want, no matter how you play it, and you even get to like tailor that effect to yourself. So
It's
I think
extremely versatile in how it can be used.
I like this change a lot.
Same.
Smuggler is up there with one of the best made changes I've seen.
Yep,
These notes.
I love it. It's really good. And now to another really good change, in my opinion, the Bandit King. Steal up to 1 weapon attack and durability from rival. That's what he used to say. And now it is steal 1 gold and 1/1 from rival's weapon. So it basically just got a steal 1 gold effect attached to it.
Yeah, one thing I like the two wordings are very different and they feel weird. Especially when you look on the above, like that above it's stealing free weapon attack, and you know.
Now like it's a 1/1. What?
Yeah. Now it's a 1/1.
It's inconsistent in wording.
Yeah, that's the one thing that ticks me off. But you know what? It's a flavor win because Bandit King actually steals gold now.
Also, the new rendered version has a slightly different color than the first one.
Yeah.
Feels triggered, man.
Super triggered. But I like the change. There's not much to it. It's going to be played in the same scenarios as before. It's just slightly better. Still not something you look at for unconstructed.
I mean, if you're playing free AP Aggro-san, this can be good.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I'd rather just have Alcarid Warrior over it, I think.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Well, Alcarid Warrior requires you to take 2 additional damage.
True, but this card, if it gets griefed, if you're not at free AP, is 5 damage.
Yeah, it feels Batman territory if you're at 2 AP. Okay, now we're done with the original changes. Let's jump into the most interesting part, the balance tweaks.
You know how long I've been saying exactly what's happened to Afflicted should happen?
We both have been saying it.
Yeah, like...
And it's good. It's still a really good card.
Oh, it's still so good, but it is such a nice change. Thank God for it.
Thanks, Mr. Jagex.
Indeed, like, this is all I wanted for Christmas. Afflicted is now fair and balanced, where it wasn't before. Okay, thanks. Moving on in my life. To be honest, though, what this will mean is that Afflicted just got worse. It got very much worse.
Yeah.
Because before, it was retarded.
It was insane value. Like, every double card in the game has some form of problem because it has no real cap in how effective it can be. This applies to Earthblast, this applies to Old Yoga Shaman, this applies to Lady Raven as well, or Ling the Assassin. And
this card had
it had a very rocky start, because when it first got printed, it barely got played. People thought it would be hard to get good reads on it, but when the meta slowed down, Aggro started running it because you could slam it down slot 2 or slot 3 and get at least 8 health out of it, most of the time much more. So
indeed, and
it's just very, very good in what it does, and the changed version removes the doubling effect, so you can still heal 15 from a Jet, but you'll only get 4 heal from a Lobster.
Yeah. The fact that you're out healing your opponent on their Lobster was hilarious on so many levels. But like, to put it in perspective, the old Afflicted was levels of broken I have not seen before. I've won against weapon lenses on their burst turn by slamming down 2 Afflicted after each other, where they would go Riven or Calgur. So I would Afflicted off the Calgur and get like 26 HP from it, and they're like, oh, I was only dealing somewhat like 30 damage this turn, but my opponent, who was on 30 life, he healed for all of that.
And my weapon is gone.
Yeah, and they would just continue to lose from there, because the card inherently, if you're playing anything with more than 5 power and trying to kill your opponent, which, by the way, most cards that are like in aggressive decks, they have 6, 5, 7, 8 power. Like, they have so much power. This card would just straight up invalidate whatever damage they were doing, and then walk you the rest of the way there as well. Like,
It's
it was
just
insane.
insane. Yeah, it was broken beyond repair. At least if you wanted to keep the double. And now we're going to Doric. Oh wait, that's Firewatch. Never mind. It's a 5 gold, steal up to 4 health from rival now. Discard 1 random card from rival's hand. I actually would have been fine if they kept the steal up to 5 health and got rid of the discard effect. But I just feel that stealing 4 health, 8 health swing in reality isn't doing all that much for 5 gold.
Yeah, I think this is the break point for where the card becomes good to mediocre to maybe where you don't actually want to be with it. I mean, discarding one random card from your rival's hand, it's a fairly good effect, to be honest. But as Bundy compared it to Doric, yeah, Doric is 2 gold less for the exact same effect now, except you get the health as armor and you don't steal it as health. So it costs 2 gold more to get this as a health damage effect, and 1 card extra ticked on. The thing is, I think that this is still going to be played in aggro Venescula.
It is, yeah.
It still hits the HP side of things.
But it's actually not good anymore. It's just being played because it's HP steal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to. Oh my god, we've been waiting for this guy.
Oh boy.
Okay, let me read out the effect. Okay, we got Rowdy Cannoneer.
Post on this.
The old version. Deal 4 damage to rival, add 1 cannonball to both players' hands. A lot of people had insane problems with Rowdy Cannoneer because it was a 2-card synergy combo with Barcotoad, resulting in 11 damage in 2 slots, with the only pre-requirement being that you had 1 gold. And people thought that was broken because it required no setup. And I don't think it's true at all. I think that Rowdy Cannoneer Barcotoad combo had its place in the game. It maybe was a little bit too strong for the neutral card pool. It could have used some toning down, maybe turning Rowdy Cannoneer to deal 3 damage and Barcotoad to deal 6. And I think it would have been absolutely fine then. But the new version reads, deal 4 damage to your rival, add 1 cannonball to rival's hand. And this is abysmal. This kills the card. You have no reason to run Rowdy Cannoneer anymore, apart from dealing 4 damage, because the cannonball that you're giving your rival actually works against you all the time. You don't want to run this card. You don't want to run it in an aggro mirror because your rival might still play Barcotoads. You don't want to run it against Sustain or 1 AP Ariane because the cannonball can actually end up killing you if you have to go balls to the walls out at aggro. And Miracle Ariane just uses it as fodder for Earth Blast or Earth Waves. So there's no reason in the metagame anymore to play Rowdy Cannoneer. It got the Haunted Soul treatment. It's a really, really bad card now, and I cannot agree with this change to any extent.
Same. See, this change, like as I said, for constructed playability, cards have to be good. They have to be worth their salt when you put them down. Barcotoad and Rowdy Cannoneer were this because you could you could play the Rowdy Cannoneers whenever and you'd have the cannonball for later, which was a huge effect. And B, they synergized well, they were both aggressive and they both shared the same game plan, killing your opponent for a fairly efficient price of 2 cards and some setup in the gold and whatnot. But the thing was that maybe it was a little bit too easy to get that combo without taking a lot, and especially in Venescula where the deck would actually like taking damage at times. It was okay with taking the 2 from the Rowdy Cannoneer. But the matter stands that the Cannoneer and Barcotoad were played for the synergy with the cannonball. Like, that was the glue between those 2 cards. Now we have this problem of Rowdy Cannoneer is so much worse. If they had a problem with this combo dealing too much damage, they could have increased the risk of doing it. Like, they could have added 2 HP to Rowdy Cannoneer, making it so that it becomes more risky to do it from 2 AP and 3 AP, so there's a bigger investment into it. They could have added a point of damage to Rowdy Cannoneer. They could have sliced a point of damage off the Barker-Toad.
Yeah,
They
as
could
I
have made it so
suggested.
that if you don't play the Barker-Toad in the same chapter, the Cannonball gets discarded at the end of the chapter.
I guess they couldn't do it because that's not implemented as a feature in the game.
I dislike to think of what they can do in the game and think what they could do with the cards if they could do it with the game. But I'm just saying, I think this is the exact wrong change out of all the options they had for Rowdy Cannoneer.
It's... Please, Jagex, just do something with Rowdy Cannoneer. Tone it down damage-wise if you really want to change it. I think that the combo is fine because you need strong, small combos to make decks consistent in this game. You have Barricade Core Beast, which only requires you to have 4 gold, which you can get in 1 slot, and you can still gain armor from it. You can still get a head start from it at 2 AP. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if we are comparing the value of 2 combo cards right now, Barker-Toad, Rowdy Cannoneer surely are up there, but there are much more hilarious synergies and combos that people should worry about. Knum Bilrak is on the same page.
Knum Bilrak, if we're going to talk 2-card combos, Skeletal Champion Wilderness.
Yep.
This combo found its way into the same deck.
Yep.
These 2 combos.
Knum Tokash as well.
Alpha Werewolf and Gorge is also somewhat of a 2-card combo.
Yeah, because you can basically still do the Chapter 1 Gorge play, but you need to get the proper cards. But if you get Alpha Werewolf, Berg the Rot, and a Werewolf Rebel, and Gorge, yeah, you can basically make a gigantic swing, and most of the time come ahead. And, like, if you look at other 2-card combos, if you look at Sergeant Slimetoes into Tormented Demon, you actually have better value than what you get out of Rowdy Cannoneer, Barker-Toad.
I don't know, for an aggro deck being able to do over a third of the opponent's health and damage, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, but it's also inconsistent, because Barker-Toad is dead without Rowdy Cannoneer.
Exactly, like, the cards needed the other card to function. So that's why I'm saying either restrict the timing window to the same chapter, or, like, actually make Rowdy Cannoneer more risky to play, but don't just kill the synergy.
Don't wreck the card.
Yeah, don't just auto-wreck the card. Because now Rowdy Cannoneer, why do I want to play it in Pirates even? It doesn't give me cannonballs.
Why would you want to play it at all if you most of the time end up taking almost the same amount of damage that you deal?
Yeah, like, it's just, it seems so weird now. It seems so out of flavor with the pirate theme. It just, like, all the other pirate cards that focus on cannonballs, they give you cannonballs. The only one that gave your opponent cannonballs was Rowdy Cannoneer. Now let's see how many cards actually spend those. Like, the reason Rowdy Cannoneer was because it went with the game plan.
Well, you can still run Saucy Wench now.
Yeah, like,
or Cabin Boy.
Cannonballs were Sticky Sanders, Barker-Toad, Lady Say, and Chainshot Cannon. Sticky Sanders never won in because the cards that gave you cannonballs didn't really follow along the game plan of killing your opponent.
Well, Sticky Sanders was actually played sometimes in extremely greedy decks that could afford to just slam it down each chapter.
Yeah, but it requires that you slam down from chapter 1 and that you have the cannonballs. And other cards that give you cannonballs, I hide out the upcoming Cabin Boy and Saucy Wench deckhand. None of those cards kill your opponent.
Yeah, it's rude aggro.
They don't progress their game plan. So the reason Barker-Toad and Rowdy Cannoneer ended up in aggro decks is because they were synergistic. They were killing your opponent and they were enabling each other.
And just because cards synergize well with each other and combo, it doesn't mean that they're overpowered or broken or need to be addressed.
I'd say that Rowdy Cannoneer and Barker-Toad might have needed a slight tweaking. Like, I would
have like a small damage
from the equation.
But that's about everything I would do.
Rowdy Cannoneer more risky, but I wouldn't completely bomb the synergy. And like, at this point, pirate decks are not gonna play Rowdy Cannoneer because pirate decks don't care about pirates; they care about cannonballs.
Yeah, and now it's just abandoned ship.
Your opponent having cannonballs, they care about you having cannonballs.
And that's what you want from playing Rowdy Cannoneer.
like at this point.
What would you say
Cannoneers-
if they kept it the same and made it say deal 4 damage to rival, spend 1 gold to add a cannonball to both players' hands?
I might have been more agreeing with that, where like adding a cost to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is now, like if we're gonna look at a pirate deck, if it has to choose between Rowdy Cannoneer, which it'll take 4 damage from if it tanks 2 AP, but still take 2 from if it tanks 3 AP, or a card like Troll Shocker, which also does 4 damage, it doesn't give your rival a cannonball. If you're at 3 AP, it's free to kill, and it gives you 1 gold. The choice is obvious. We're gonna go Troll Shocker.
Yeah, and like I like to compare it to Haunted Soul, how it is now. It's a strictly worse Haunted Soul because A, it deals 1 damage less, and B, it gives your rival a free card.
It gives your rival 8 points of damage against you. And
that may synergize, you know, and that.
No, Haunted Soul's actually far better because it's an undead, so it can be ran in Semragal decks.
Oh,
there are
baby.
no cards that care about pirates specifically. So
Okay.
these cards just why?
Let's go to the last card. It's called Markasa, and its text reads Game Economy Designer. It drops a 2 base attack reward. No, it has 2 attack, 2 health, drops 2 gold, and 2 health. What do you think about this card, Freeb?
I think it's a terrible balance master. Kappa.
It also has the balance effect in the equation called Equip a 4/2 weapon, strike next creature. How do you like that?
Sounds like something the old Kale would do, except better.
Alright, so we're done for today. We've been ranting for half an hour. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out the next video as well, where we don't just discuss announced changes, we also give our opinion about things that should be changed.
This can, for example, be cards like Skeletal Champion, which we have a debate over, or cards like Ogre Chieftain, which we're fairly sure needs to get nerfed. So please go check it out. It involves a little more thought by the two of us, where we want to see Chronicle in the future outside just this balance update.
Make sure to like and subscribe the video. #sellout. Goodbye.